Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to my first ever review book style vid. I don't know, but I'm gonna start doing these review videos of books that I've read or even films maybe if I feel like it. But I want to do this because I feel like the last video I did on books was too long, and these individual videos will be able to make it more interesting because I just read the books and then I'm gonna give it right after the review for you guys and for me as well because it's something I enjoy. I wanted to talk with a camera or someone about the books I read, and yeah. Okay, but hope you guys enjoyed this first book talk with Davi. That's how I'm gonna call it because I want to. I just decided, and you guys are gonna need to remember the name if you're gonna come back. Okay, just to let you know. Okay, let's get started. A book that I've read that I finished this past week. It's from a series that I've been reading. It's called The Real Time. It's written by Robert Jordan. Some of you may know it, may not know it, by the Amazon series that was also called The Real Time, but it unfortunately has been canceled, and that's why I actually started reading these books. And let me just tell you guys, it's so much better reading the books because the series it's good, but after you get all the details from the books, every single thing is just 1,000 times better. Okay, and just much more magical, I would say. And this series, it is like, so it's a fantastic world that Robert Jordan writes. It's a mythical world, I would say, that has lots of different creatures, beings, and magic. Something that I really love reading about is magic, how spells, and in this world, there's Aes Sedai, which they are these powerful women who can uh, weaves that create not spells that create fireballs, balefire. That's another thing that I'm going to mention about this book, and other things that just make them badasses. And then there's a whole lot of other things that you guys, if you guys want to know, I won't directly like explain what they are in this video because I'm finished the third book that I'm gonna get into. But you guys can research about it. It's very interesting if you like any like magical stories. If you like fiction stories, that's honestly it's gonna be something enjoyable for you to read. Okay, so actually getting into the book. So I read the third book of the series or the fourth one because there's what I read the first three, technically the first three that's here, but okay, let's move on. It's called The Dragon Reborn, and it's The Dragon Reborn. Oh, guys, obviously there's gonna be spoilers, okay, on this review. If you do not want to be spoiled, don't watch it because, like, make it make sense, okay? But the, moving on, The Dragon Reborn is obviously rad. If you've read the first two books, because this is the third of 14 books. The series is gigantic, but I'm gonna read them all as fast as I can. I don't have my hands on the next books. I'm gonna get them, but this book basically is. I thought it was gonna focus on Ran, that is the Dragon Reborn, but I was so wrong, and I loved the way Jordan he just structures this book because it's definitely a breath of fresh air from the first two books that I feel like focused too much and way too long on Rand, and it didn't really like give the opportunity for us to actually feel to see what the other characters being Egwene, Perrin, Matt, and Nynaeve, they actually how they matter into the story. And I also wanted obvious my favorite character is Moraine, and I wanted to see more of her, and then also Elaine, Min, Tom. There's a number of actors, but this book was very well written, I would say, and it just helped us see more, explore more of what of parents, Egwene's perspective, Nynaeve's perspective, Matt's perspective on the actual story. Because the last two, they were just accompanying Rand, you know? And it's honestly, it's good writing. Uh, so talking first about the structure, I felt like it was very well paced because it showed the events chronologically happening, maybe like skipping sometimes between characters, you know, the different perspective, but that's normal. But it was a good pace, you know, it didn't stay focused on one part all the time. It always kept moving, moving, moving again. Like whereas the second book, it felt like you were forever uh in Kyrian. I'm sorry if I mispronounce it, Kyrian, but yeah. And in the first book, like it felt forever that Ran and Matt were walking to Camelin. Like it felt like forever, and I did not appreciate it that much. But this book, it helped like just move things on because it's not static; it's ever changing, and that's what makes it good for me. We got to see so many more characters. I feel the detailing was much more like deep because we got to see Nynaeve how like bad, how stuck she is in dealing with the one power, how she can't channel it without getting angry, and it's like so deep in this book because she just cannot do it. She needs to get so mad, and honestly, it's kind of embarrassing. Not gonna lie, Nynaeve, you need to get that sorted out because yeah, it's just it doesn't do it for me. I need to see you kick those dark friends, kick Leandrin because you could beat them all to a pulp if you actually try. But you did not try. POV, I'm talking to a fictional character, but whatever. Nerds are like that. But yeah, that's what I liked. They got so much detail. We got to see lots more of Ayo, which that was peak. Honestly, I loved seeing Ayo in the story finally getting some parts. Ruark, Avienda, honestly, they are important characters to the story. Like, I think they are based on the series that I watched because I don't know what happens uh, in the other books that I'm gonna read still. But I feel like they're gonna be a huge part of the story forwards. But honestly, seeing like that writing this like decrypting their fighting style, that was honestly peak writing. I loved seeing that. It's just so much more uh, interesting. I don't know, guys, I need to better my vocabulary, but uh it's like this billow of things happening with the IO, and that's honestly made me happy because more characters and it means more fighting, more fun, more violence, which is something like honestly that gets me hyped reading a book. I also love, you know, the details, the how intricate it is with the tower, how Swan Sanchi deals with her three new hounds, how they need to go carefully because they can't trust anyone because maybe they're a dark friend, maybe they're a gray man, and that's honestly good. That's honestly very, I don't, you know what I mean, don't you? Yeah. It's like also I really like the IO, but having many more um I don't know how to say it, factors of the dark one in the book, like introducing them was much like appreciated by my part because like getting to see more of the soulless, that's how the EO say it, but oh my god, wait, guys, that's the main. Hold up. There's a name for this. It's the Forsaken. Oh my god. Getting to like see the Forsaken Raven that's in Camelin in this book, and then there's um what's that dude's Shamael that is in Ilian, if I'm not mistaken, and then Belal, who's in Tyr, and then Lanfear just manipulating the story. That was so good. Honestly, when I read about Lanfear in the second book, that's called The Great Hunt. Honestly, that was one of my favorite parts because she's such a queen, a diva, a badass, and she getting mentioned in this thing as the most beautiful lady that she is. Okay, don't get me started. But it's just so badass, you know. Incorporating that into the book is making it so fun, like fun reading, you know. The Forsaken, these powerful beings who make everyone dream in the city, and they literally are at the top of the rankings in each city. Like Raven, he's the queen's consort, I think, and then Samuel, he's at the top of Ilion, and Belal, he was the High Lord Salmon, I think, or it's the other way around. But I can check afterwards. Wait, I'm gonna check real quick. Okay, I did some digging, and I'm pretty sure High Lord Salmon is Belal, and Samuel. I did not find like a title for him for ruling Ilion, but it's a high lord basically. But that was very intriguing how like they got in power in positions of power so quickly, and just like that they're like controlling whole cities. And yeah, that's I think those are like the factors and ideas that made this book much more, I don't know, readable, and just hooked me to it, because adding much more detail instead of focusing on one character and honestly exploring different characters' emotions, their paths. Because if you want it or not, Matt and Perrin are Ta'averen. I think that's how you say it, not only Rand. So I feel like that exploration was needed one way or less, to make the like story more plausible, to make it, to get the readers hooked on it. Like if I think if Jordan did not do, if the author did not do it, like there it would not be as famous, you know. Because I did suffer reading the first two books, like just mentioning Rand, and basically you had basically no chapters in this one out of 50. So that was much better. I would say much better. I want to analyze the character arcs with you guys, because I feel like that's gonna make it this review much more interesting, and it's something I want to do. And it's just fun dissecting the characters and everything that they've done. Okay, starting off, like I'm gonna talk. Okay, just heads up, I'm gonna talk about Perrin. That's gonna incorporate Loyal, Moraine, Lan, Fail, or Zareen, but I'm gonna call her Fail, and Rand as well a little bit. But Rand, I'm basically not gonna mention. Okay, guys, thank God. And then I'm gonna talk about Egwene, Elaine, Nynaeve, those three together with the Amarylline seat, and then Matt with Tom, which I feel that's gonna be like the better structure, better separation of characters in this review. Starting off, I'm gonna start like one of the, I would say, best character development arc, or best character development in this book, which is Perrin. I feel like his relationship with the wolves, it's still at a stall, you know. It's not in on the turning points yet, but it's getting a little better, because he got used to dreaming a bit more. He saw that dreaming actually does help him, like with like defense, or just finding out what's gonna happen, or even just keep informed as Marine does not tell him anything. So the dreaming, definitely him dreaming and accepting that he is basically turning into a wolf, was a good seeing, because it's basically the same as Nynaeve. Like he's scared of that part of himself, but he's starting to accept it. That path is much more clear to him. I think at the end of the book, with him saving Fail from the Tangreal, I think that's the name, or it's not. No, it's not a Tangreal. It's something else. Maybe I'm not sure, but it's that powerful porcupine which held her in a constant dream. And I feel like after that he's gonna realize, oh, this power actually helps me. But I do like, after finding out that he could like turn savage into like a savage, into an animal one day isn't gonna help that much. But after like these events in the book, it's definitely gonna be a start of a turning point. Finally, for Perrin accepting that he is gonna be a wolfman, and his journey to Tyr, because he was following around, it was good. Seeing like it was where he developed his like his acceptance more or less. But adding Fa'il to the story, which was one of Min's visions, it was definitely something. She's very unique, I would say. Like, obviously, I don't know if she's a dark friend. Probably not, because she did everything to help them. But it's like a breath of fresh air as well, seeing a new character, which actually she adds a lot to the story, because she's so interested on following them, because they might lead her to the horn, and then she finds out they already have the horn. Just not with them, they had the horn. One of the best friends, the other tavern, blew the horn, and she's like, oh no. But now she can't escape, honestly, the story, because she's linked with Perrin. Definitely, she's his falcon. And that was, I feel like that was a great touch. Instead of keeping that same friendship, I feel like incorporating different characters, um each book is gonna be good for this. It's gonna be great for the story, not good. I still know there's 11 books ahead of me, so maybe Perrin gives in to his wolf senses. Maybe finally he can overcome it and accept who he is without turning into a savage wolf and his man body, obviously. But I don't know what's gonna happen. But his development arc was one of, if not the best in this book, because but you can, so I feel like it's like, bro is he's a little delusional, if I would say that. Oh, he really wishes to go to Emmonsfield and become a blacksmith. Bro, there's no going back. There's no going back, and this goes for the same for Matt, because Matt is like the one who really wishes he could just leave everyone behind and go back to being a nobody. No offense, and that's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. But mentioning Matt, because I feel like we talked about Perrin enough, and it's just basically good. I feel like Matt. Oh wait, something I really, really, really liked that got me so hyped up was when they were in Ilion, Perrin and Moraine, Lan, Loyal, and Fail. They were obviously running from Darkhounds, which were interesting, a good add as well to the story, because another powerful creature, uh, that's a dark one's. It's a dark friend, but it's basically a wolf hunting that you cannot escape. This wolf, this dangerous being that's more dangerous than Miadrol in some cases. So that was actually so. It got me so hyped, because then Moraine used Balefire, and I was waiting like for them to like to see Balefire in the book for me to read a part that mentions it, and that was honestly the best part to add it, because you can just see how powerful Moraine has got, how she does shit. She is the it girl of the moment. Okay, she's a powerful Aes who, even if she might be manipulating the Emmon Fielders, she is the moment. Okay, that was a great part, and you can see like Moraine challenges the Forsaken. She's not scared to die, and that's just, she has, so he just deals everything. Like, let's go, pronto. They just go. She just commands everything, and that's just girl boss vibes. Just that. Moving on again. Mentioning Matt, now I'm gonna talk about him. I feel like Matt's story, it was honestly, I'm just gonna say, tell you guys, he's not my favorite character. It's just like he complains all the time, and just it's not please me, you know. I don't like it. Like, bro, if you're gonna complain, just die. But he can't die because if one tavern dies out of the free die. So that's not good. But it's like he just have has this different feeling about him. It's just, he I feel like there wasn't much development in his like person throughout this story. It's just honestly we need to accompany him, but it was fun seeing him how like he gets his luck in the story. His luck is out of this world. I want to have his luck on like making money because he got rich from gambling like a million times, and how he was able to get past Camelin's guards, new guards that are obviously Dark Friends commanded by Raven, one of the Forsaken, and that was fun to see, you know. But honestly, him and Tom did not add that much to the story. Only Matt in the end of the book, he was able to obviously make that ruckus inside the Stone of Tyr, which was a good distraction and started the fighting, the like last battle of this book, obviously, and that was honestly brave of him because he's kind of a coward, but his bravery was one thing that I was not expecting and turned out to be a good thing. So thank you, Matt, for that. But aside from that, I don't think he added that much to the story itself. It felt like he was just being questioned. Guys, I'm trying to use big words here, okay? Do not I cannot say this word. But anyways, he just did not add that much to the story. He just got mentioned because he's an important part of the story, but to this book, The Dragon Reborn, only in the ending, I honestly, he killed the guy who was gonna assassinate Elaine, uh, and Egwene, the three girls, but they're big girls. They couldn't defend themselves with the power if they had not been like shielded from the power at the end. But he was a good defender. Honestly, my opinion is changing. My opinion on him is changing bit by bit, like as I continue talking. But whatever. But he seldom just adds something to the story. Barely, okay. And yeah, that's my thoughts on him. Matt, you need to see some develop. I need to see some development from you. Like, be less annoying. Like in the series, you're already out of this road annoying. Like you just irritate me to the point I want to. And like just don't, you know, just try to be better, bro. Saying that sounds so wrong. I do not have content for him. It's just it feels like he's a side character for some like I feel like obvious reason. Like the author Jordan, he tries to incorporate Matt, but none of like it doesn't sound as like it doesn't. The only like special, unique part about him is his luck, honestly, and his skill with the not spear, his his weapon. It's not a spear, it's a staff, his half staff. His skill, that's good, but he's not that unique comparing to his two best friends, Ran, who is the Dragon Reborn, who's this big deal, and Perrin, who's a wolfman, who literally can like cut someone down because he's that big. That like I feel his like Matt's luck is what's keeping him alive. Obviously, it's keeping him alive, but whatever, you know. And okay, now we're gonna talk about a very I feel like key part of the story, which is the trio Elaine, Egwene, and Nynaeve. I'm gonna start off like speaking more about Egwene because I feel she made more of an impact to the story, particularly because of her dream powers, of her being an obvious dream walker. Like she doesn't know it yet, but she's a dreamwalker who can go to Riyadh and do stuff. It's like in the final moments of the book, in the battle, she was able to like disarm basically Joya and Amical so they could escape, because without her doing that, they were gonna die. Like, but that was Egwene's uh arc of being a dreamwalker in this book was, I feel like, inevitable, because something needed to make like this story possible, honestly. So that was very cool to see, and how Varian always motivated like Egwene to do stuff. She didn't show it, but it was kind of like obvious. If you read in between the lines, you could see that Varian was obviously interested in seeing Egwene develop. So she gave her data Terangro. I think that's the name, because there's Terangro, Angral, and another piece, which are powerful objects. But that ring, the stone ring, she gave that, and that actually helped her a lot to her vision, seeing the future, and just observing everything. Like having the little uh options, not options, but clues of where to go, who to follow, that so and so. Swan, like something I did not expect, because I was heavily relying, which I need to stop doing. I was heavily relying on the Amazon series, because in the series, Egwene was not recruited to be a dark friend, like hunter, basically, for the Amaryllis. It was only Nynaeve and Elaine. So seeing that honestly was good. It was good. I was not expecting it, but it added something to the story, because without Egwene, Nynaeve and Elaine would obviously not be able to hunt them down, to know that the Dark Friends were in Tyr and what they were planning to do with Ran. It was not going to be possible to know that without Egwene. So I feel like I feel a bad a mishap by the people doing the series, that they did not incorporate that into the series. Instead, they just rushed into the IO waste, and I feel like the IO waste, it's gonna happen because it didn't happen in this book, but in future books that I'm gonna read uh, about the series, yeah, and the interactions between Egwene and the group with IO was honestly, as I said in the beginning, god tier. I loved it for them, because they did not get beheaded by the IO. They would not survive a fight against the IO, okay? And that was very, I'd say, as I kind of, it pushed the story, it gave the story a little push, a good push. And them being captured in Karirin by Dark Friends, that was also kind of desperate, but good in some way. I don't know why I just said that. Just go with it. Then Elaine, unfortunately, did not have that much of an impact in this book. I want to see her doing more stuff in future books. She was just there, like sitting and saying, "Oh no, don't do this, doing that." No, she needs to have more. She's one accepted, as all of them are accepted now. Nynaeve, I kind of have mixed feeling for Nynaeve, because like, girl, you have like this potential and you're not taking it because you're scared, and you do not want to admit it that you're scared. Like, she's uh battling with Elaine, no, not with Elaine, sorry, with Egwene, like constantly throughout this book, like arguing, and I'm like, bro, you do not have the reason most of the time, but just get a grip, then like all of you can survive. But Nynaeve was honestly an important character, because honestly, finding the other wisdom so they have a place to stay in Tyr, but they ended up getting caught, unfortunately. But then they win the battle, she used balefire. I'm not sure that she used it, but I'm like, I'm 80% sure that she used balefire on the free Midra, where they were fighting with the eel. Well, no, where they were captured and she suddenly just used it to like kill them because Ayo were fighting and she wanted to help, and that was badass of her. Like, oh, and that was like kind of a good parallel because like Nynaeve used Balefire and Moraine used Balefire, you know, and Nynaeve hates Moraine. She can't wait to like kill her. I feel like she wouldn't kill Moraine, but girl, if she kills Moraine, I'm gonna kill her. You've seen Nynaeve? Don't play with my Moraine, and Moraine can beat her ass. Now because Nynaeve hasn't reached her true potential. Okay, but I feel like those three, the trio, it was essential for the story, you know, and they getting hunted down by the Meadro and then the Gray Man. Honestly, very good writing. Just I feel they could have defended themselves better sometimes because you know they already like attacked a ton of Shanshan soldiers in the past. They could have done something before like being captured, but unfortunately they couldn't. And that's just plot armor, you know. That's the plot. They couldn't that they couldn't have done anything about it because that the plot is that made them get captured. Honestly, because Nynaeve could just get so mad and then just kill everyone right there and there. Like that left me a little bit addled, but yeah, whatever. Honestly, the trio, I want to see they actually hunt down the Dark Friends, like kill them themselves in the future books because Egwene was able to like disable two, but they didn't actually battle. You know, I feel like that was missed. Like they didn't battle in the stone of at the stone. Like they didn't use their powers to like defend themselves as much. And I feel that that was a missed opportunity to show their skills, you know? But I think that gets like easily overshadowed by the battle itself at the Stone of Deer because first of all, Moraine killed it. Okay, she literally, I think, I'm not sure, but what I got from reading it, she killed one of the Forsaken, being Balal, and total badass used balefire that he was not expecting for her to use, and he was completely shocked. And I think he died. I'm not sure, but Moraine killed it. Love her. Love everything about her. I forgot to say this about her, but I also am obsessed with her because Rosamund Pike plays her in the series, and she's just a diva. She's everything. And yeah, that the battle it was like basically like the second book's battle after like Moraine, she killed Bilal, and then it was Rand's turn, you know, because he got Calendar finally, and he used it to battle the Dark One. We still don't know if it was really Balsamon or it was a Shamal. I'm gonna know it in the next book I read, I think. But that battle was epic as well. Rand being able to like freely use the one power, channeling it into Calendar, and basically just killing everything in his path. And as I said, we don't know if it was a Shamel he got to stab with Calendar. I think that's what happened. But probably it was a Shamel or just a vision because there's still 11 books ahead. So uh, I'm excited for the next reads. But the battle itself was really, really good, and I want to see how Rand's madness is gonna be like contained after like he actually possesses calendar and learns how to use it swiftly, controllably, like all of that. So I hope after like the start of the fourth book, which I did not read the prologue because sometimes I'm just lazy, but the prologue for the fourth book seems interesting. I'm going to read it after, and I'm excited once I get my hands on the next books. But yeah, that was my review of the Dragon Reborn. Overall, I'll give it. I'm not gonna rate it like on a scale 1 to 10 because I feel like it really matters on opinion on that note, because you need a like fiction or magic to, I think, even remotely want to read these series. So I won't rate it, because I feel like that's personal. It depends on the person. But amazing book. Robert Jordan, honestly, I feel like he improved from the last two books to this one on like the writing style and the narration of the story and just everything. And I'm very, very excited to read the next one, which is called The Shadow Rising, which sounds interesting because, like, it's basically just Shadow Rising. The Dark One is gonna maybe go after everyone. I don't know. We'll need to see. But I'll we'll need to see. But yeah, I'm gonna end this video here. Hope you guys enjoyed this first like personal review of one book. I'm gonna try to do these more. I'm currently reading a book written in Portuguese, so I'll do the next review in Portuguese. So that goes accordingly to which language I use. So yeah, thank you for watching if you get to this part, and yeah, bye.